I was so excited to find this wooden DIY craft kit at Dollar Tree that reminds me of a beautiful winter snow globe. I found this in the Crafter Squares section, and I hope you are lucky enough to find it too. I thought this would be so much fun to do a craft with me video with you guys. So let's get started. My local Dollar Tree had several different designs of this layered wooden art, and I thought this one would be so much fun for a winter DIY. It comes with the slotted base, 2 designed layers, and 1 back layer. You can decide which one you want as the top layer or the middle layer. The tabs slide right into each of the slots, and this will make for a very thick piece. There are several different ways you can do this. You can set it up this way, or you could take the middle piece and turn it around in the opposite direction, or even flip the top piece, whichever way you think looks best. Once you decide, you'll know which sides of each layer that you'll need to paint. Starting with the base and one side of the back layer, I'm going to paint this with a watered down brown acrylic paint mixture, which is going to give it a nice stained look, and I will allow that to dry. Using that same paint mixture, I'm going to paint the outside edge and the tree branch of the top layer because I want mine to have more of a woodsy winter theme. While that layer is drying, I'm going to start on the second wooden layer, and I am using a darker non-diluted acrylic paint, which is called Bark Brown, to paint the outside edge as well as the bottom of the mountains. Now that those layers of paint are dry, I'm using a chalk paint in the color Moss to very carefully paint each of the trees on both layers, trying not to get it on the outside edge. I want to keep the deer on the first layer in that natural wood color, and if I don't paint the deer on the second layer, I feel like they're just going to blend in together. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the second layer deer with that watered down brown acrylic paint mixture. For the mountains, I'm going to use a white acrylic paint, and then I will paint the bird at the top using a black acrylic paint. Using a dry brush and the white acrylic paint, I'm going to dry brush over each of the trees to give them a nice snowy look. Back to the base and the back layer that I've already painted with the watered down brown acrylic paint mixture, I'm going to flip that back layer over because I want the brown to be on the outside of this piece. And for this side of the back layer, I'm going to paint it with a chalk paint in the color Ocean, which is just a beautiful blue color. And while that paint is still wet, I'm going to take a little bit of black acrylic paint using the same paintbrush that I used to paint the blue on. I'm going to blend in some of this black acrylic paint so that it'll give it a nice blended beautiful background. And once it's dry, it looks like this. Now, when I pulled it off of the wax paper, I realized I was a bit messy, got some blue on the back. So I can't leave it that natural brown color, so I decided to go ahead and just paint it solid black with some black acrylic paint. Now that all of the pieces are dry, we can put this together. Now I am going to put a little bit of hot glue right there in each of those holes to make sure each of the pieces stay securely in place. And this is how it's looking so far. Now I do want to cover the outside edge so you don't see the 3 separate layers. To do that, I'm just going to use some neutral brown ribbon. And don't worry if your ribbon's a little too wide, you can always trim it down. or glue it to the back side. I am going to make sure that the ribbon is lined up perfectly with the front layer. And how pretty would this be if you added in some of those fairy lights before you even added the ribbon? I didn't even think about that until after I'd already glued the ribbon on. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you're able to find one of these 3D layered wooden signs. And if so, if you have painted yours, I would love to see how you created your project. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please take care, and I will see you guys next time.